again.
That sounds a good sound. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it, Mr. Salge. Very, very cool. The man has infinite number of talents. So thank you for knocking that out. All right, so some big dates in Lubbock. January 5th coming up. That's when we're going to know what LPNL is actually going to charge for the delivery side. I know there's been a lot of discussion on the thread and a lot of discussion on a lot of calls about what they're going to do and rates and things like that. Let me just tell you this. If anybody is saying what that rate's going to be, and they're saying it's 11 cents or something like that, I'm going to tell you straight out, that's just bogus. There's no way, mathematically speaking, companies cannot sell it for that, for everything included. That's simply their supply charge. So they're not going to do that. They're not going to come into a new area like that and subject themselves to folding the doors on their company as a result of that. So let's wait until the 5th and see what, it all unfold, how it's going to unfold. But we are very well positioned. We're going to own this market. And people can come in right now and lock in, and then it can only get better. And if they don't like us for some reason, then they've got options, right? But it's really a good idea to come in and lock that in with what we're showing. I think we're probably, this is me only saying this, I think this company, from what I've seen, is does a good job of under promising and over delivering. I've seen that multiple occasions with this company, and that's a breath of fresh air. So a lot of good things happening for being able to get a ton of people in and being able to really grow your business. So now is definitely the time to reach out to everybody that you know. Don't just say, hey, do you know anybody in Lubbock? Get specific. Do you know any business owners in Lubbock? Do you know any realtors in Lubbock? Do you know any people that play golf in Lubbock? When you do that, just that simple little change, when people think about something that's very big, they can't get their mind wrapped around it. It's just a divergent thought. If you can really get in and tie in so they can access a certain part of their brain, and it's a simple hack to do it, but just simply ask them something specific, like, your realtors that are in Lubbock, and then their brain goes into a different frequency and starts thinking about things differently. It's like, hey, do you know anybody that'd be interested in this? No, I can't think of anybody. That'll be the answer you get every single time you ask it that way. If you'll turn that around and ask them, say, hey, you know any realtors that live in Lubbock, or do you know anybody that's has a power washing business in Lubbock, or do you know anybody that's self-employed, or do you know anybody that works at the hospital in Lubbock? Just something like that, and it causes them to access their brain a little differently, and they'll help you out. So definitely hit your network rather, to see who you might know in that market. Use social media, use LinkedIn, use Instagram, Facebook, all of the access that you have. Hit that up and start reaching out to people. People are hungry right now, man. Things are expensive right now. Everybody just got done with Christmas. I'm sure they bought more presents than they had money for. That's what we do. And then we put them on a credit card, and then we start trying to pay those bills off for the first couple months of the year. People are looking for extra money. People are looking to be able to improve their life. People want to start something new. And you should be out there not being a secret agent, but really getting after it and really letting a lot of people know what's going on in your life. Ask what's going on in theirs and see if they're interested in doing something. Listen to those key phrases when you're having conversations. But the important thing is have conversations, get those conversations started. A lot of times when people first get started, that's a hard thing to do. So let me dig into that a little bit. So I don't just tell you, but I tell you how. To tell you how to do that is you start the conversation, and it's a real simple beginning. But sometimes people get a little lost on this. So if you're writing your notes, grab your pen and your paper for your first notes of 2024 and write down this word, hi. Starts with an H, it ends with an I. You can put an exclamation mark right at the end of it if you want to. I'm being a little silly here, but that's typically how you start a conversation. You say hi. It's a very nice welcome greeting. How you doing? Start a conversation, man. Don't make this weird. This is another human being on the other side of the line. This is another person that you're reaching out, and chances are you know. Have a conversation. Ask them what's up, what's going on in your life. How are the holidays, man? What are you doing? What's your big goals for this year? Do you have any resolutions, or do you not participate in those resolutions? What's your big word for the year? Mine is application. My word this year is application. You can know everything in the world, but if you don't apply it, it doesn't matter. You come to Power Hour every week and you don't actually go apply it. It's good knowledge, and it's great having you here, but you could be like Mr. David Daniel jumping out of a fire truck right now and getting ready to go put out a fire. That was kind of cool. I don't know if any of y'all saw that. Excuse me. So that's dedication right there, just so you know. He's on his way to an actual fire and coming along with us for the ride. So that was pretty neat. But seriously, have a conversation with somebody. Simply start up with them as, hi, how are you doing? And see what they're going to do this year. See what are they going to do? They want to apply some knowledge that they've learned? Have they realized that they need to have a side hustle? Have they realized that they need to have a way of earning additional income? Are they saving enough for retirement? Are they putting enough money away to be able to send their kids to college? Are they doing all of those things? I tell you, the answer right now is no. Statistically speaking, they're not doing it. It's a fact. And so you've got an opportunity to be able to do this. And with this business, look, you can make as much as you want, but I'm telling you, $500 a month, start there. Get your head wrapped around $500 a month. You know, that's life-changing money. That keeps people out of losing their homes. That keeps people from being able to stay in the house that they've dreamed about. You know, it's a big difference what $500 can do. $500 can save marriages. I'm telling you this. This is a fact. So, you know, yeah, some people want to go out and make 20, 30, 50, 100, 200, $300,000 a month. I'm all for that. And guess what? I'm in that echelon. That's what I'm looking for out of this thing. But, you know, some people are good with $500. Find out what works for them. All right. That's a big one for your notes. After you say hi, find out what's important to them. What are they looking for? Get them to tell you. Drive the conversation towards them. Make it about them. You can tell them what you're doing in just a second, but there's nothing that's more of a put off. And this might be a personal pet peeve of mine, but I bet some of you can relate. Have you ever had somebody just call you up and start telling you a whole bunch of stuff about them? It's kind of annoying, isn't it? It's like, hey, I appreciate you calling and giving me a speech from a stump, but why don't you ask about how I'm doing? Right? So make sure you're not that guy. Make sure you're asking how they're doing. Make sure it's about them. Make sure you get your part of the conversation in too. Don't get me wrong. Because some people, once you open that up, they're going to go for 30 minutes. We're not talking about, unless they're a good buddy and you want to catch up. But in the first little bit, you can steer the conversation towards, what are you doing for additional income? Or do you need extra money? Or, you know, would you like to save money? You know, those are two very good opening phrases that you can use to get this thing going. So just a couple things there about the new year. You know, a lot of people looking for something. So make sure you're getting out there. Make sure you're reaching out, making sure that people are getting in front of the information. It doesn't matter how many of these power hours you go to. It doesn't matter how many promotions that are given. It doesn't matter all the text messages or all the events that we have or all of those things. The name of this game is getting people in front of the information. And there's a couple of forms of that information. It can happen on a Zoom. It can happen on a video. It can happen over coffee. It can happen over a lot of different ways. But whatever works, get them in front of the information. The person that shows the plan the most wins. Plain and simple. Mr. Stallard, if you don't mind, just by a show of fingers, how many Zooms have you done today so far? How many times have you shown the plan today?
I've showed the plan 3 times. I had to come on here and say this because typically I would have a lot more than just three, but 3 plans. But I've been on Zooms all day talking to leaders and new business partners out of Lubbock.
That's awesome. So he's not only just building new business, he has a massive amount of momentum. And it's very important that we don't leave anybody behind. You got to make sure once you get up to the upper echelons that you're not only still out there showing, he could be in management mode only, but he's not. He's in stage one, phase one, which is absolute growth. And with everybody that's coming into his organization, all the leaders that he's already produced, he still showed the plan 3 times. That's a big deal. That's a very important statistic to keep up with your business. So let's talk about what to do in the new year with your business. First, let's talk about why this is such a good business. It's important for me to say this because I always want people to understand what it is they have their hands on. If you were to start a regular brick and mortar business, the investment that you would have would be astronomical, especially in today's age with prices where they're at. Getting some place to rent, building up an inventory, going through all of the legal work that you'd have to do, going through all the insurance that you'd have to do, the taxes that you have to pay, finding employees, unless you're going to be there 24/7 running it, having all of the different things that you'd have to have, point of sale, computers, equipment, all of the different things it would take to do a traditional business. You're talking tens and very likely hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started. This, you can literally get started for less than what you're paying for the insurance on your own vehicle in a month. Folks, there's nothing that you're going to find that is a bigger, better return on your investment. You didn't have to go get certified by 13 different public utilities commissions. You didn't have to come up with different rate plans and secure financing in the hundreds of billions of dollars. You didn't have to do any of those things. That's not your job to do. You are not in the electricity business. You are in the people business. You are in a sales and marketing organization. Marketing is the key phrase here. Your job is to get this information in front of people. Your job is to build a network of people. You've already got that network. Your job is to actually tap that network. Your job is to actually speak to the people that you know, ask them a few questions, and find out if they're interested in earning additional income or saving money. You want to make money or you want to save money? You want to do both or you want to do neither? Some people are going to be neither. Do not waste your time on those people. That's completely fine for them. They're good doing what they're doing. There's people that you're going to say, oh my God, I cannot believe this would be perfect for them. Why won't they call me back? Why won't they pull the trigger? Why won't they join this? Why don't they see? Why? Stop asking that question. That's not the question to ask. You ask the question up front if they're interested, and then you watch their feet. If they move, they're interested. Follow up with them. Get a decision. Okay? And until they say yes, they haven't made the decision. They say yes, or they pass away. Those are the two options. You keep following up with them, but you do it quickly. Remember, I talked about that bumblebee going out there, and it has to hit all of those flowers to get the nectar. Zip, 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 zip. It doesn't just sit there on one forever and ever and ever and ever. It hits them and goes, hits them and goes, hits them and goes. If you haven't yet, even if you have, what I would suggest with the new year is grab a piece of paper and start with a list of 100 people. Write down 100 names on your piece of paper and make sure you actually contact each of them. Not just asking them how they're doing. That's step one. You say hi, right? And you go through those steps of hi, how are you doing? What have you been up to? You looking to earn some additional income this year? And then you get them to see a presentation, and then you get a decision. That's the steps that you want to go through. You need to track all of those. If you're dealing with 100 people, you need to keep up with that. That's the only work in this business that we do. That's the only spreadsheet that you have to keep up with in their business. If you have any other business, I promise you there are a gazillion spreadsheets that you got to deal with and a whole bunch of other things in a traditional business. This one, that's your inventory, people. That's your inventory. You're working with those people. You're going to check with them. You're going to see what they've got going on, and you're going to make sure that you're following up with them. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you have inventory with this. That's what you bring to this business. You didn't come up with electricity. You didn't come up with an electricity company. You didn't build the website. You didn't come up with the rates. You didn't install the meters and the poles and the distribution centers. You're not in the call center. You didn't do any of those things. But your part is the most important because it's that last linkage that puts the company together with the people. You're that representative. You're that energy advisor. Go out and advise people that it's a good idea to get joined with us if they're looking to make some more money or if they'd like to save some money. And then once you get a decision, find out if they're interested or not. In my job over the years, I've interviewed tons of people for my regular corporate job. And when I check with them, I'm not trying to solely answer all of their questions. I want to ask them questions. I want to make sure it's a good fit. I want to make sure that the person that I'm interviewing is going to bring something to the table. A lot of times when people get started in this business, they want anybody that can fog a mirror. Do not go into it with that type of mentality. If y'all don't know what that means, it's where you get a mirror and you put it underneath their nose to see if they're alive. And that's all y'all care about, that they're breathing, they got a pulse. Make sure they're bringing something to the table. Everybody brings something to this table, but if they're not willing to come to this table and open up their list and actually contact that list, this is not a good fit for them. Be picky, right? But be picky after you contact them, find out what they're doing and see if this is a good fit. Our job is not to convince them. Our job is to get them the information. Our job is to answer their questions. Your job is to get them in front of the information and then pass it over to your leader, and we'll do all the rest of it. Stan, I'm going to call out Stan. He's been doing a great job on reaching out to people, and he's been putting people in front of me and Mr. Stowler both, and we're closing them. They get on the phone with us and we answer their questions. And when we're done with them, we explain it to a point where they see it and they're like, holy crap, where's this been all my life? You don't have to do all those things. You simply got to get them in front of the information. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're keeping up with that. Make sure you have an inventory. Make sure you're bringing something to the table for your business. And here's the other thing, folks. I'm gonna tell you about a sense of urgency. Now is the time that you should be having a sense of urgency. If you haven't already had one, now is the time to do it. There is so much going on with Think Energy just getting started. We're not even a year old yet. Okay. And you were blessed by your creator to be here in this business, already joined with us with everything that's already in place. You're in a darn good spot. I promise you that. So there's going to be people that you're going to talk to that are going to be coming in 3 years down the road, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road into this organization. And they're going to ask, we're going to be at a convention somewhere, and they're going to come up and they're going to introduce themselves. And they say, hey, we really liked your speech up on stage. And how long have you been with the company? And you're going to tell them, man, I've been here from the beginning. I was here in the first year. And they're just going to go, oh, they're going to shake their head and they're going to say, you're so lucky. Why didn't I get to see this when you saw it, man? Oh my God, can you imagine? So don't squander that. There's nothing worse than coming to the finish line and you look back and you have regret. You don't want that in your life, and you sure don't want that with this business. If you haven't been pushing, then make your resolution that you're going to apply yourself this year and get after it. Get into this thing and get moving with it, because it's a powerful, powerful thing that we have our hands on. But we're in business for ourselves, not by ourselves, but you got to take the first step. You got to do the action. You got to do the work. You got to reach out to people. Excuse me. Next thing I want to talk about is customers. It is an amazing thing for the number of people that we've had join our organization in the short time that it's been building. And it has been building faster than any other company that I've ever seen. Our organization alone is setting records in the company. It's never happened like this before. One of the key things is this business, specifically Think Energy, it's really about the customers. Gotta have the momentum that we have right now, but it has to be followed up with customers. That's a very important part. Go out and get as many business partners as you can, but make sure you are getting customers. It's not just about people coming in. It's about people coming in that bring customers to the table. And the best way to do that is you become your own first customer if you can. If you're in an area that's not deregulated, or you're in an area where you don't have an option, completely get it. But if you are in an area that Think Energy serves, definitely make sure you are, as they say, a product of the product. Make sure you're on the service, because it's a very hard thing for you to be at a Ford dealership and you're driving a Chevy. If you catch my drift, that's a little weird, right? You're out here selling Fords all day and you're driving a Chevy. That's going to be a little weird. So make sure that you've got your energy with Think Energy as your first step. If you don't know how to do that, get with the person that invited you and sponsored you into the business and let them help you. If that doesn't work, go up the food chain and you'll see that in your back office, all the way up to myself or Mr. Stowler or Mr. Daniel or any of the leaders. And we will be happy to walk you through what it takes to enroll a customer. The next thing you should be doing after that is you should be talking to every person you know. We have a lady that joined the team, and I think up in the New York area on December 15th. And it's been 17 days and she already has 20 customers. She just got started. She got 20 customers. That's awesome. That's how you get in there and take massive positive action. And that's what she did. 20 people somewhere in the think energy territories that we can offer service to. And if you haven't done that yet, you should be making that one of your quickest number one goals to do as quickly as possible. Set a goal for yourself. What does that look like? Put it with some teeth in it. What happens if I don't reach this goal? Make it be painful if you don't actually reach it. Make there be some type of consequence if you don't. Put something in there. Make it like, if I don't hit this goal, then I'm going to give $100 to my favorite charity or something like that. So it's a win-win. Do something along those lines that causes you to have a sense of urgency if you don't have it already, so that you can get out there and make a difference and make a change. There's a lot of people waiting for you tonight. They're going to be on their knees tonight praying. It's like, man, my bills are so high. It's a new year. How the heck am I going to pay for everything? And you come in and say, hey, let me save you some money off your third largest bill behind your rent/mortgage or your car payment. Your electricity bill is going to be your next one. It's going to be one of the largest things that you're going to be paying on a recurring basis. And here's the thing: you can pay off your house, you can pay off your car. You're not going to pay off your energy. You're not. It's a service. Now, if you do want to, just go ahead and get 20 customers, and then you don't have to ever pay for electricity again. That's kind of cool. So get out there and go do that. People. But again, you can write all those names down on your paper, but if you don't reach out to them, it's not going to matter. 20 is where it's at. You really need to get to that mark, because that's going to hit a couple things. For one, it's going to get you promoted. It's going to get you to the regional level. And when you do that, that's a big thing that happens. You make some bonus money that's going to come in, and you unlock the residual. You open up the residual where you're going to start getting monthly payouts for all the customers in your organization on the first couple levels. That's a big deal. And then you show a couple people in your organization how to do that. So go out, find a couple people that want to make some money. I suggest 3, start there, and then show them how to go do what you just did. We talk about 5-3-5 all the time. You might wonder what that is. That's the secret formula. It's not really a secret, but that's the formula to unlock how you get to regional in one way. So if you don't know what that is, draw it out on your paper, draw a big circle and put the word "you" in the middle of it, and then draw like 5 little lollipops off the top of that. Those are your first 5 customers that you're going to start with. And then below your big circle, make 3 circles below it. And then write in the first one, Al, Bob, and Chuck, ABC. Those are your first 3 business partners, first 3 people that want to make money in the new year with you. Get them in front of the information, put them in front of one of the leaders. We answer their questions. They get enrolled. They're an energy advisor. You got Al, Bob, and Chuck that have joined you. Show them how to go get their first 5 customers. That's another way of getting 20 customers total and get you to regional. It's powerful. It's a very powerful thing. Or go get your 20 yourself. And when you do that, you're going to get your free energy. On your way, when you get your first 3 customers, you and 3 customers, that's going to be 10% off. Get 10 customers, that's going to be 40% off. Get 20 customers, that's 100% off your supply, up to $2,000 or whatever it is per year. That's a huge savings, folks. That's a big raise that people are going to be getting, that they're not have to go pay on their electricity service. Excuse me. All right, sorry about that. So customers, we got to make sure we're getting our customers. We have a crazy good ratio of the number of business partners coming in. It's almost higher than the number of customers that are coming in. That's called massive momentum. That's just simple numbers. There's a ton of people coming into this business, and that is a very beautiful thing. And now it's time to consolidate on that and make sure those folks are getting customers. Make sure you're getting at least your 5. At least start with the 5, so you got the 5-3-5 on its way. But shoot for 20. Call everybody you know. Call every single person you know, and ask them, hey, would you like to save some money on your electricity bill? Would you mind if I take a quick look at your electricity bill, do a quick audit on it? hey, I started this project with a friend. I'd love for you to take a look at it. Would you mind sending me over a copy of your light bill to begin with? What's this about? It's a short little video I need you to see, but just give me a copy of your electricity bill to start with. These are different ways that I'm just randomly off the top of my head coming up with that you can reach out to your people and have those conversations. These people are your friends. They're your neighbors. They're your coworkers. They're your people from church, people that you know in your communities. These are not strangers that you're not accosting old ladies at Walmart, running into their basket, while they're looking through the get well cards for their friends. You're not running into these people and just irritating them. You're talking to people that you know. So don't make it weird. Make it a simple conversation, and definitely reach out and get in touch with those people. Let's open it and pause for a second. I've already been going for 30 minutes, which fascinates me always on how fast time goes. But let me open up for any questions that people might have off of what I've said, or any questions that they might have been working with so far. Just feel free to hit the mute button, unmute yourself, and ask away. Any questions about the business for the new year, what you need to be doing, or how to handle this or how to do that?
I got a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I signed up like a week or two ago, and I'm trying to set up that mobile app or whatever, and it's not. It says something like I gotta log in a certain way, and it's not doing it right. So who do I need to call to find out how I can log into this mobile app?
Best answer on that one's probably going to be consultant support, because you might have there might be something that has to be done in the back office. I'm not quite sure on that, to be honest with you. I have not used the app much at all. It's not anything that's a must-have. If it's something, obviously, if you want to use it, I want to make sure you get it, but I don't want that to hold you up from being able to reach out. Mr.
It's
Stallard,
not necessarily holding me up, just my people. I guess talk to the person that put me in, but he was saying like when you send out links, because I've been sending my link to people and stuff like that, but he said when you send it out through that app, that it actually notifies you when they look at it and all this other
yeah, good
stuff.
point.
I've
Yeah,
been
no,
trying
it's a
to
good
do
point.
that, and I just can't log into it properly.
Yeah, no, good point. There's a password that Mr. Stallard put in there that that password is used quite often in the beginning when you're trying to gain access. So you might try that. If you'll just look in the chat, you'll see that it's scrolled by. Try that for a password, see if that'll get you in. If that doesn't, then you might reach out to consultant support and let them know what you're running into, and then they should be able to help you get past that.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, you're welcome. Sorry I didn't have a better answer for you.
No, that's good. That's good enough.
Yeah. All right, I saw some other stuff scroll by on the chat. Let me check on that.
Okay, it's that link.
The $100 gift card, is it a Visa card? I think it's a Visa. You'll have to go back and look on that, but I believe it is. It's one of the name brand ones. It's not going to be some Diners Club or something like that. So,
Hey, Mr. Salge, can you make me a co-host, please?
yes, sir.
Tracy,
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. I talked earlier with David, but I know he's occupied right now. So I'm working with a customer. I actually just set him up for his home, but he has 3 meters. So I spoke with him right before the meeting to make sure he wants those put under him as his referral, and explained our free energy program. So he does want those put under him as his 2 of 3 referrals. And then now his son's just responded that he's interested in going with us as well. So that would be his 3 for sure. Where do I go? I'm new, and I have accidentally enrolled this gentleman up, and it went in our house account. So customer service was wonderful. They helped switch him correctly as one of my referrals today. but I don't want to make that mistake with his referrals.
Yeah, very good question. It's actually a couple steps. I wish it was a little easier. One of the things, and there's Mr. Stallard, fec.thinkenergy.com, and that's how you're going to get started. So that stands for Free Energy Club. Mr.
Okay.
Stallard, why don't you jump in here and give some info on that if you'd like?
Yeah. So it's actually it's a little bit different. It's not the same as just sending the link out. Once we have the Proton app, you'll be able to do it that way. It'll be really, really streamlined. But right now, if somebody's trying to refer a customer, they go to fec.thinkenergy.com, and then they're going to put in their email address. That customer will put in their email address in that website, and they'll have their own customer back office. And from there, there's going to be a little section where they can put in that referrals, that potential referral customer, put in their name and their email in a little box, and then Think Energy will contact them on your behalf and sign them up as your referral. And it's actually really cool too, because they do take the lead on that, and they send out a really nice email that's like, hey, Christy, you're helping Jeff get free energy by signing up to be a customer. We want to help you do the same thing. Here's what you got to do to refer people. So they're going to help you continue that flow to bring in more referrals from those referrals and so on and so on. But a customer, they just go to fecthinkenergy.com. They put in their email. Now they're into their own personal customer back office. They put in their referrals name and email, and that's it.
Yep. So what happens? So what happens after that email gets entered into the portal? Then so basically in your example, you've got your new energy advisor, and he's going to basically send the email to himself. So he's going to go to FEC. He's going to put in his information that he has as his own customer, and then he's going to put his name as himself, and he's going to put in the email address. Then Think Energy is going to send the special link in an email to him. He'll open up that email, and it actually has a do not reply type. So just don't think that that's some spam or something, but look for that, open that up, and then there's a special link. And he would click on that link. And when he does, it will open up a page as his customer Free Energy Club page. It won't be your page. It won't be his energy advisor customer page. It will be his free energy page.
So my question is, because I think we've even spoke with David on this. I do like David as far as taking the information, doing it for them. And this customer has been my customer in my previous day job, and used to me being their go-to already. And I did this with him and his wife in the last few days. And so he's used to that, and he's thinking obviously that I'll continue that. Is there a way I can?
There is. Let me hack this for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into fec.thinkenergy.com. You're going to put in the information for your energy advisor who became his own customer. You're going to get that information, and you're going to put that in there. And then you're going to send it to yourself. You're going to be the one that he is referring the service to. You're going to get that email. In that email that says do not reply, you'll see that. You'll open that up, and it's going to say your new person's name's Jeff. It's going to say, Jeff has sent you this on Jeff's behalf. We're sending you this so that you can become a customer. And there's a link. When you pull up that link, it will have some information in the URL, the long website address. It'll literally have their name, and it'll have some other numbers in there. That's the link. Save that off on your own. Click on that anytime that he has somebody that he wants to sign up for free energy. It's the same link.
Okay, good.
Does that make sense?
Really, yes.
Yeah, that's a hack. That's an advanced topic. If anybody got lost, don't freak out. Do what Mr. Stallard said. But if you want to hack that, that's how you go about doing that. And once you get that link, now you've got that, and then you can do it. You can do that for yourself, for your own free energy, so that you don't have to do that. Because sometimes it can get a little convoluted where, oh, well, this came from a do not reply, or, people get a little weird sometimes when they start getting sent stuff. So if you can handle it for them, and then you take all of that weird out. But if they're savvy and they're good with it, absolutely go about it. As Mr. Stallard said, the only hack I'm saying is instead of sending it to them, send it to yourself, and then you can do that for them.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That's a really good question. And really, it's two really good answers for you on different ways you can go.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Stallard, for that. I couldn't remember that main website. All right, other questions. And there was some stuff that was on the chat. Just unmute yourself and ask away so I don't have to scroll through that. All right, so other thing that I want to really emphasize is momentum. Momentum in this business is a fickle thing. Momentum can show up at a moment's notice, and momentum can disappear in a moment's notice. It's very important that your daily method of operations is what fuels momentum. You can start momentum in your own business simply by being consistent in what it is that you're doing. When a tree falls down after somebody's been chopping on it for a while, there's a lot of momentum that gets going with that. Now, if you haven't been out there swinging on that tree trying to chop it down, you can go up and push on it, nothing's going to happen. So you got to do things that are actually useful. You need to actually take some chops out of that tree. And you have to be consistent with that. You don't need to go like crazy for 1 or 2 days and then not do anything for 5. You need to be very consistent in your daily method of operations on what you're doing. You need to be reaching out to new people on a constant basis. If you have people on your team, you want to be checking in with them. But when you check in with them, it should be something very simple as in, who do you have for me to talk to today? If they don't have anybody, then hang up and go on to the next thing and talk to the next person on your team, or be reaching out to your own new prospects. And then the next day, you need to go do the same thing. Call your people up and say, hey, who do you have for me to talk to today? Well, I don't have anybody, but hold on, and then hang up on it if they don't have anybody. And then when you call them on the third day, hey, who do you have for me to talk to? Well, I got one person, but don't hang up on me just yet. Oh, now you got somebody for me to talk to. Nice. Now, that's an approach. Do it how you feel best, but make sure you're doing the things that are making money. And it has to do with showing people the presentation, showing people the information, or calculating bills and enrolling people. Checking Facebook, that's a means to an end. Making posts, that's a means to an end. But are you literally communicating with new people? Are you following up with the people that you've already reached out to? There's nothing worse than going out and building this great list of 50 and 100 people, and you reach out to 10 of them, and 8 of them respond, and then you don't follow up with them. Are you following up with the people that you reached out to? Do you have a means of keeping up with all the people that you're reaching out to? Do what works best for you, but you need to have some system, some process that works. It doesn't have to be all high tech. I mean, literally get a spiral notebook and start writing names down. Spreadsheets work better for you, do that. Calendars work better, do that. Whatever works for you, just make sure that you are working it. Make sure it's helping you. But to keep that momentum going, you have to be the consistent one. You have to be doing the things that are very important in this business. And this is a very simple business. We do 2 simple things in this business. We gather a handful of loyal customers, people we know, love, and trust. And then we go gather other customer gatherers. Power hours are the same time every week. We do it from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock Central Time on Tuesday. I am typically going to be your host. Every once in a while, we'll have some special guest speakers come in to do some training. But yes, we are here every week. The main goal for Power Hour, because I know we got some new folks constantly coming in, is to be able to offer you trainings and different observations on how to build this business, and always to be here to be able to answer your questions. If you don't have questions, then we will just keep on training on different topics so that you're hearing different nuggets and things that are going to hit you differently that have helped us over decades of doing this business. I've been in the network marketing field now for going on 16 years. Made the cover of Success from Home magazine 2 different times for what I did in another energy business. And I love giving back. I love building teams, and that's why I come on here to be able to pass this information along. And hopefully it makes an impact on you all. Hopefully you hear something that go, oh, I didn't think about it that way. Or, man, that's a good idea. Or, no, I've heard that before, but not that way. Or, I've heard that before, but it really hit me tonight. That's the power of Power Hour, is to get around the campfire with your group, with your people. We're spread out all over the United States. We're in all different locations. And this is our way to be able to huddle up for 1 hour out of 168 hours a week, so that we can talk about this business, make sure your questions are getting answered, and making sure that you know what it is that you need to do to go out there and just blow this thing up. All right, let's open it back up for some questions. Any other questions? Love having you here for them. All right, so last time we talked about a blitz, and I'm going to end on this. A blitz is when you have a certain period of time that you get going with this business. I talked about a whisper campaign last time, just before the holiday, and we talked about what to do with that whisper campaign. It's where you go out and you tell all your people, hey, I got something big coming in the new year. This is going to be massive. I can't wait to show you this thing. I'm getting some things nailed down. I'll be back with you at the beginning of the year, and I want to share this with you. If you've done that, then follow up with all of those people and say, hey, I don't know if you remember me talking about this, but I have a really big thing going on. I'm partnered with some people that I'm very excited to be partnered with. And I got something I need to show you. When can we get together for some coffee? I need to be able to get you in front of this. Well, what is it? I don't have time right now. I've got a ton of people I got to call. That's why I want to sit down with you. It's too important to just tell you over the phone. I'd love to get face to face with you, or at least on a Zoom, if you're available. When can we get together? And then let them tell you, and then make it happen. Get in front of them, hit play. They got questions, put them on with somebody that can answer. Rinse and repeat, and keep doing that, and keep doing that, and keep doing that. Reach out to other people and say, hey, love for you to take a look at this business. I think it's going to be really powerful. I think it'd be great for you. I'd love for you to be able to see it. And they said, man, I have no interest whatsoever. Say, great, no problem. Appreciate you letting me know. I would be a terrible friend if I didn't ask if I could at least save you some money on your light bill. What are you paying on your electricity? Do you even know? Why don't you give me a copy of your light bill so that I can take a look at it, of your electricity bill, take a look at it so that I can run the numbers for you. Would that be okay? They're going to say yes, or they're going to say no. If they say no, ask them why not. Get them to tell you. They might have a real good reason. Chances are they don't have a good reason, and they think you're just trying to, pull one over them or whatever. Tell them, look, this is for your benefit. I'm already working towards getting my electricity for free, so it's trying to help you out. What does it hurt for me to at least look at your electricity bill? They'll come around. So be doing that. Make sure you're really blitzing like crazy right now. Now's the time to push like crazy. Get yourself to regional. Make sure you get those 20 customers, because ultimately it doesn't matter how many business partners you bring on. You need 20 customers. We talk about 5-3-5. Go get your own first 5 customers, but don't stop there. Go get 20. Go get 24, and you never need another customer in the comp plan. You could be a senior partner, top level of the entire company, and you only need 24 personal customers. So just go do that, get it knocked out. Some of you are getting real close to that. There's another question that just came by. Let me look at that one. Ready to get to work. I love it. All right. It's like all the questions are answered on the chat. All right. We'll open it one last time for any questions on the line. If not, I'm going to do what somebody said that says, I'm ready to get after it. And let's get out there and get after it. Any questions before we call it a night? All right. Well, January 5th, that's when the rates are coming out. Make sure you're reaching out to folks in Lubbock. Make sure you're reaching out to every single person that you know. Thank you all for jumping on Power Hour. And if you got something out of this, please post that in the Facebook group, because I want this thing to be maxed out. I want more people on this because they need to hear this information. And if you got some information out of it, share just a little blurb about what you got. What was your key takeaway from tonight, if you had any? And then let's see if that might entice some people to join us so that everybody's pointing in the same direction. with that, why don't you unmute yourselves, tell everybody good night, and we'll see you next week. And we'll see you on all the different phone calls and the Zooms that we have coming up.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Salge. Good night, everybody. Bless you all. Nope, I don't think you're gonna
Good
hear me.
night. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
sir. Good night. Bless you all. Happy New Year.
Good night, everyone.